Good evening, this is the Athens City Shade Tree Commission meeting for January 10th, 2013, the first meeting of the year, so Happy New Year to all. We have had a good turnout this evening. We have all the commissioners plus the alternates and the council member, along with Ron Lucas, our Assistant Service Safety Director, and Anne Bonner, the ODNR. Can't think of your title at the moment. It's
Urban Forestry.
Urban Forestry. That's it. Yes, thank you. I don't have any tree permit issues. Some may come up when Ron does his report. Nor do we have any landscape ordinance issues under Title 37, although we've got a revision that we're about to refer to the council on that one for later. So, Ron, can we have your report, please?
Sure. Well, I do have a couple planting opportunities, new planting opportunities. There is a new section of sidewalk that was installed on Shaver Street near Byard that runs pretty much parallel with the Laughlin complex fence. That's a tree planting opportunity. So if we can take a look at that and maybe have some ideas about what we can plant there. Also, the Columbus Road project is in the works, and we would like to incorporate trees into that design. So it's not all the way through the design phase yet, so we can take a look at that and come up with some recommendations for what we want to plant.
Where can we see a plan? Is the one online?
The Andy Stone on that to see where he is with it, where the design is, but it's going into, we want to construct this year.
Because we are used to looking them online, so if it can be put somewhere online for us, that would be useful.
Good idea. So those are some planning opportunities. Also, we did achieve Tree City USA status. So, USA. And there is a Tree City Rewards, a USA Rewards ceremony on March 28th
In Logan.
in Logan.
Which will involve a hike to a heron rookery. A short hike, but I think that'll be exciting. So.
And also the statewide tree care conference will be coming up at the end of February. I do intend to go to that. So
Very good.
That's all I have.
Any questions for Ron? If not, the next item is maintenance of the tree canopy. I don't think we've heard of any more dread diseases coming down on our canopy. Have we?
Well, no, but there was a news release from ODNR. Officials discovered the walnut twig beetle in Butler County. That was just released on December 10th. Apparently it's contained, but the walnut twig beetle is one of the vectors for the 1,000 canker disease. That's the new up-and-coming thing that we're probably going to have to deal with after Emerald ash borer does its. Do you know any more information about that, or is that what you have?
There's apparently a lumber company that it's associated with. So quite a few beetles. Not looking good.
Yeah, from the release, it gave the impression that it's, they found them in the traps. They quarantined all the wood there, and then it's no longer a problem. But we'll see.
What county is it, Jim?
Butler. That's by Cincinnati, isn't it?
It's I think north of, and of course we're still dealing with the Asian longhorn beetle on the other side of Cincinnati in Claremont County, and that is encompassed, multiple townships, a state park, a lot of trees, something like 11,000 trees they've surveyed. They found 4,000 positives. They're removing a lot of trees. It's been a really scary thing. So, yeah, kind of discouraging, but...
There we go.
Okay. We just cut down the forest. It'd be easy to clear cut, wouldn't it?
Don't say that. Everything of value requires care and maintenance, right?
One of the things I'd be curious to know whether it's happening here, but from reports of tree diseases in Britain, one of the major vectors for that is imported trees and imported lumber. And quarantining appears to be one way to deal with it, but whether you can deal with it with a large continent like this, in the same way, I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's clearly, commercial movement of wood and forests and plant materials is not a good idea.
No, and this is just a byproduct of our global economy, and it's not just affecting forestry. I mean, it affects agriculture, everything, ecosystems. So it's invasive species are the plight of natural resources management today. It's every single day they're saying things are coming in on crates and packaging that we don't yet understand. So
Yeah.
it's all the more reason just keep planting and diversifying when you can and taking care of what you got.
It's not good news for the plant business, though.
No.
Because, they can be told that, I'm sorry, you can't move that plant anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, on to other things then. We've got a revision to Title 37 that we reviewed at our last meeting, and unless anything else has changed in the meantime, I think we're now ready to refer this one to Council. It basically means adding letter C under one of the items in Title 37, and it'll basically say where the lot is in a business zone that abuts a residential zone, there shall be a 4-foot wide landscape buffer. Now obviously we'll have to run it by the law director and a few other people before council vote on it, but that is the language that I think we came up with. It seems to be the cleanest way to achieve what both the planner and the code director would like to see in terms of buffering between different use areas. I think we'll try that and see if it flies. The other item under other, and it said in the minutes of the last meeting, I noticed that we'd be consulting with the Service Safety Director. I don't know if Ron did consult with the Service Safety Director about this, but we have our no-mow policy, or the way we're going to identify areas for where we're going to avoid mowing. And I think what I'd like to do tonight, I've circulated the copy. It's basically the same copy we had at the meeting at the last time. I've added the phrase Shade Tree Commission. I think it was a good suggestion of Emily's to do that, to make it explicit. They're here if you want to pass them along in that one. But I think we're now at a point where we should vote on this one and then move it forward, so that we can begin to identify these no-mow areas. I take it, Ron, there was nothing...
I've not had a chance to talk to Paul.
Okay, but as far as you can see...
There shouldn't be any major concerns.
Good. So if you'd like to just read over it one more time, then we will vote on it. So are there any questions or further editorial pieces?
I just have one thing.
Okay, fine.
So, the last sentence of Part A, this will enable natural selection, which may be enhanced...
Succession,
yeah, which may be enhanced by selective plantings. Now, natural succession can also bring in undesirable plants.
it will have to be maintained.
So enhance with selective plantings and cuttings? Or would you just leave it alone?
I think you want to leave it open to do selective, like multiflora rose is one that'll come in.
I'm thinking about trees though here.
Yeah.
So this
Some
is
of the
just...
places we want trees to come in.
Well, I'm talking, well, let's say...
We're talking undesirable.
You mean
trees.
like a lantus or
Lantus,
something?
maybe.
Well,
You could just say enhanced by selective plantings and removals.
I don't know if that puts in there, like, it gives the impression after I read it that once we stop, we can plant things, but you can't cut.
No, you
Yeah,
wanna be able
right, it
to-
does have that sort of hands-off.
So, yeah, like Tree of Heaven, that's the only big one that I can think of that would come. I mean, I'm not a big fan of box elder, but it comes in, it comes in.
They're the only trees you've got, you're grateful for them.
And that's about the only thing that will grow in that old railroad ballast. You know, that and elderberry.
I don't know if that's necessary, but it's the one thing that,
Yeah.
I don't expect, all that was to try and do the first section is just to set up why we're doing
Okay.
this. And the presumption is that the city workers will still be maintaining this area, they just won't be mowing it.
Yeah, and I believe that if there is an invasive species, we already have other areas of the code that allows us to
get it.
deal with that.
And what this is really for is to establish the procedure. And the procedure is that we would then simply recommend to the Service Safety Director that no mowing take place in a particular area, and it was a way to make sure it was identified properly.
I've got a question about that. So if you do have something invasive going in there, would it be cutting or would you spray?
We haven't sprayed for a while in terms of targeting invasive species. We typically cut. We've done some removal efforts before, but they've been significant, like volunteer efforts and things like that, where we actually went in and pulled stuff out. We typically just cut down with string trimmer.
If you guys want to get a look of what a no-mow area is going to look like and how long natural succession actually takes in some of these compromised areas, it's really slow down here compared to glaciated Ohio, but the Hocking Conservancy District lands, that 18 acres behind the railroad bed on the other side of the bike path, that's since '04. They haven't been mowing that. Now granted, some of the places have been mowed, but there are some core areas that's been how many ever years, 9 years or something. There's barely
You just
anything.
look on the hillsides around here, how big are the biggest trees?
Yeah.
And that's over 100 years of growth.
Yeah, it's slow.
We're not talking about this happening overnight, we're just trying to get it started.
Yeah, well, and I think that's fair for people, especially the politicians, to be aware of, because they think, oh my goodness, we're going to have multiflora rows 8 feet tall, and at the Conservancy lands, it's really not thick yet, and it's been longer than you'd think. Another place to look at is Stroud's Run State Park, those no-mow areas between the beach and the one-way road. I mean, that area's been no-mow for how long, and the only thing grows there is thistles, you know. I mean, I don't think there's any trees that have ever seeded in there, except for the ones that were planted.
Yeah.
I know there's certain soil types around here that will not support tree growth. It's just, I mean, it's just not in the high clay soils, very active rotational slumping, and things go down. Radar Hill's a good example of that. You know, you're not going to get trees in there because it's just not going to support it. But I think the areas that we're thinking about, we're not talking about a ridge top here. This is
No, we're talking about the edge of the bike path and things.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, where there's already cherry and alder and elderflower. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that will grow there if it's just left alone and somebody doesn't go through and cut it out.
One of the cool things is, you know, like I have to review the Hocking Conservancy District site every year so that they can maintain their good standing with the Army Corps of Engineers, because now they want less mowing and less, you know, they want more vegetation for all those benefits. But it's neat because every year there's more animals that we encounter on the trip and more species, and I need to actually start like writing them all down as we go just to get some science to back me up. But it's neat. It is slow though. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it doesn't happen quickly. Any other questions about this? If not,
Sorry.
can we all approve this policy as to our no-mow policy?
I'd
All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good, thank you. We have another policy, that's policy number 4. And as noted in our last meeting, we're going to try and get some of this stuff up onto the website along with our minutes. I think starting from now going forwards, we're going to have our minutes up on the website.
That's great.
Okay, I think that brings me to the end of the items on this agenda. Is there anything else anyone else wants to raise?
I was wondering, Ron, was the tree that was cut on Madison, did that have some damage because of the wind, or do you know anything about that?
I'm not aware of it. Where was it on Madison?
Oh, about halfway up the hill, maybe right near Grosvenor, right there.
I didn't cut any trees down.
No, I don't think the city did.
I think it probably fell across the road and was then cut.
I thought Ron would know if it had fallen across. I know there's been some trees that had fallen.
Okay, it may have, but I wasn't notified of a tree that was fallen or cut down.
The top of it is on the other side of the road.
Is it?
Oh,
And I don't think it would have been cut off and put over there if they were deliberately cutting the tree down.
Do you know when this happened, John?
Fairly recently.
Yeah, I saw maybe 3, 4, or 5 days ago the wood piled up there that was cut up. I didn't.
I think it's been since Christmas sometime.
Yeah.
Ron, what about the tree, the corner of Madison and Columbia? There was a tree there that was cut. It was in a yard, but I don't know whether it was actually in the right-of-way or not.
wasn't that a while ago?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, Alonzo and I took a look at that, and it was not a right-of-way
Okay,
tree.
good, good.
Was it under the wires too?
Yes.
That was, yeah.
Had been pruned a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then the only remaining item is the minutes of the last meeting, which I've got copies of here. If you want to circulate those. I'll look over them, see if there's any further corrections. I made one or two.
Modified natural selection.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Okay, a second.
We'll all second it.
That's good. Any objections to approving the minutes of the last meeting? Hearing none, we have minutes of the last meeting. Our next meeting will be February the 8th. I've got a feeling that, I thought it was February the 14th actually.
14th.
Yeah, it is February the 14th, yes.
Yeah.
Will be our next meeting. With that, we're adjourned.